banks, specifically Deutsche Bank, wants to get into some stablecoins to move some money around, but they're waiting for one thing. By the way, happy Saturday. What's that one thing they're waiting for? Well, we're going to talk about it. XRP whale movement. Oh, they're moving some money around, specifically XRP. We'll talk price action as well. Jerome Powell, Trump wants to get rid of him. He's not legally able to, but Trump is still shooting shots across the bow. Are we going to have a phantom Fed chair? By the way, Powell, he's out in May of 2026. Garmin's telling me it ain't May of 2026. Woo, Trump's putting pressure on Jay Powell. That and more coming up next.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
The altcoins are trying to climb their way back, but oh, it's been a struggle to break free. Yeah, we're seeing some green up on the screen, but I do believe we call this the friend zone. We got some Trump-Powell drama. Wasn't it enough with Trump and Elon? Well, before we get into that, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Patrick is hanging out with us and says, I got 12 out of 28 filed talking about the Circle IPO. What about Gemini filing for the IPO? Anarchist State of Mind says Pop-Tarts is going down. That's right. We passed Pop-Tarts in terms of subs. We're going to do a demolition video. We're going to blow them up. We're going to run them over. We're going to do a little pew-pew on them. We might light them on fire. We're going to just basically do all sorts of destructive things to Pop-Tarts. So hit that subscribe button so we can have some fun with Pop-Tarts. Bobby Bethea dropping some support on the channel and says thank you. Well, thank you for the support, and you're very welcome. I love bringing you news, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad, 7 days of the week. That's right. It's the weekend. You get crypto news. You know what you don't get on the weekend? Well, Sean Allen is telling us. Sean Allen says, silver's closed for the weekend. That's right. You can't trade Circle stock. You can't trade stock. Gold and silver, you can't trade for the weekend, but you can trade crypto through the weekend, and you get crypto with Klaus for the weekend. Bitcoin's at 105,000. ETH is 2517. XRP at 219. Well, BNB's at 652. Sol at 152. While XLM's at 26 cents. The market's kind of meh right now, honestly. Meme, by the way, still gotten beaten down the most. Doge, under 19 cents, everyone. That's a tough one right there. Doge didn't really rebound as much as the rest of the market, but buying time for a lot of you players out there. All right, Deutsche Bank may explore Tether integration amid U.S. Genius Stablecoin Act. Yo, if this Genius Stablecoin Act passes, I believe this is going to be the floodgates. It's going to allow a lot more money to flow into the market, specifically into stablecoins. According to Deutsche Bank's head of digital assets, Sabib Azad, the bank is considering multiple approaches, including issuing its own stablecoin or collaborating within an industry consortium to leverage blockchain tech. In a significant move reflecting evolving landscape, Deutsche Bank is actively evaluating the adoption of stablecoins and tokenized deposits to enhance its payment system. Yo, this next week coming up, you got the Stablecoin Act in the Senate, you got the Clarity one in the House. You got a lot going on. You got CPI data. It's going to be a juicy week next week. I'm going to be bringing you the news. Basically, what we're seeing is this. Circle IPO launch gave us insight on how big the stablecoin market really is, okay? So, banks are sitting here going, yo, we get those regs, we're going to go full bore ahead with stablecoins, cross-border payments. Juicy sector in the crypto world. Okay, so we're going to be paying attention to that because most banks are going to be creating their own stablecoin. Some of them are going to be collaborating together, making like a group stablecoin. Kind of like a group Circle jerk. Like what I did there because Circle did their IPO. That was kind of cool. Thanks, Klaus. All right, Trump might replace Jerome Powell. Okay, legally he can't. But what he can do is throw a shit ton of shade at Jerome Powell, kind of like he's doing at Elon Musk. But here's the thing. The market doesn't really react to that kind of stuff because they know Jay Powell and Trump, like, it's really nothing he can legally do. You know what I mean? So the market doesn't react like that, but it does make things a little bit uncomfortable. Listen to this. On June 6th, Trump stated that his pick for the next Fed chair is coming out very soon. Okay, but when is Jerome Powell done? Jerome Powell does not officially end his term until May of 2026. Garmin, help us out. That's 11 months from now. Yeah, it's a little premature. The move would amount to a political earthquake in monetary policy circles, with Trump preparing to install a phantom Fed chair in the waiting. Could you imagine being Jerome Powell going, yo, 11 months ahead of time, I already know who's going to replace me. And then could you imagine being the replacement sitting there going, so what do I do? Like, do I just like hang out here? Like, I don't really like have an official job yet. I mean, like, I know who I'm replacing, but I don't have any official power. But yet, like, I'm probably going to be out there making speeches. I mean, this is pretty whacked out. All right, this is what happened. I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates, Reuters reported, citing Trump. Trump also said he would like to see a 100 basis point cut. We ain't getting that. The next Fed meeting is like in a week and a half from now, and basically we're getting a pause. Wild, isn't it? All right, there are a lot of people out there that were pissed to see Brad Garlinghouse wanting to play nice with Saylor. Some people out there were like, yo, this is 4D chess by Garlinghouse, saying he's going to be the snake in the grass that just eats Saylor. Saylor, though, is like, yo, fuck your XRP, screw the rest of crypto, I'm a BTC maxi, so play nice with me all you want. Remember, BTC is 106,000, XRP is at 219. Here's what Saylor posted. All right, you're going to love this. All right, Saylor goes on Twitter and he says, strategy is fully torqued Bitcoin. And then he posts basically the 1 year return of MicroStrategy versus Tesla versus Bitcoin versus, and he shows all of these different ones out there. And what he's basically highlighting is MicroStrategy is the one to get into to show you that, look, if you want the best returns, MicroStrategy is where it's at. If you want the best crypto, Bitcoin is where it's at. Because look at this post. Bitcoin is the future and the opportunity for everyone. Basically what he says is Bitcoin is it. Everything else sucks balls. So I get Brad wanting to play nice in the sandbox with Michael Saylor, but the problem is the person he's playing with wants to step on his throat and crush him. So I still kind of struggle a little bit here wanting to play nice with the person that wants to kill you. You get what I'm saying here? And that's metaphorically, everyone, so don't freak out. Yeah, orange tie guy, I don't know. I don't trust him at all. Remember, he went balls up in the .com bubble crash. Ripple whale transfer, 498 million in XP to an unknown wallet. Look, this happens all the time. Escrow movements, ODL, stuff like that. You're welcome to read it. Look, it happens like every freaking week. I swear this stuff happens. All these articles linked in the description below. All right, let's get to the juice, okay? Right now, volume for crypto really slid quite a bit, down 34%, under 100 billion to 96 billion right now. Altcoin season index. Look, we had some really good moves with altcoin season index, but then look, we really slid back down. We got up to 43 on May 9th, but we have since slid back down to 25. Every time the alts seem to make a run, we get knocked back down again, and then we go back to BTC dominance. It's kind of freaking annoying, isn't it, everyone? Trust me, it totally is. Some of the alts, though, that have been doing the best, just throwing it out here, Fartcoin, PayPay, Dog with Hat, Pudgy Penguins. Monero is cool, right? Privacy has a good thing. You got some Bonk in here. You got some Sui. You've got some Runes, some Flocky. So a lot of meme overall has been doing good in the last 90 days, but a lot of the utility tokens have not been doing well. What I do like to see, though, about this is a big chunk of tokens, though, are in the green, while a lesser chunk of them are in the red. By the way, what's one of the biggest ones in the red? Picoin. They're having some migration problems where people's balances are not showing up. HBAR, look at this, down 20% in the last 90 days. That's not a good sign for HBAR fans unless you're buying the what, everyone? The dip-a-roni. Right now, too, we're going to look at XRP price. 218 is where we're at. Go to the 7-day chart, and you'll see we did rebound from that little bit of dipola from the Trump-Elon feud. Volume 1.55 billion. We're starting to get into the kind of, not the bad pre-election zone volume time, but we're getting kind of close. Let's go to those 15-minute candlesticks to see exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're not exactly where we were before the Trump-Elon spat. We were at $2.22 when that happened. So, I mean, we're 4 cents short of that. But the reality is, look, we're in the friend zone. And while we're in the friend zone this weekend, we're sitting here going, we know volume is going to keep sliding. I just don't want us to slide to where we were before the November election time. Because here's the thing. You know how I said we were at volume of 1.55 billion? Before the election, let's just pick some random times, okay? Before the election, you're talking about volumes of 2 billion during the week, and that's during the week, right? So on the weekend, you see what I mean? We're sliding it back. We're sliding it back. That's the point I'm just trying to put here. I don't want to be too negative about it, but at the same time, I think we're all starting to recognize a pattern that the big, oh yeah, the big flash, the big, oh, this is awesome hysteria of November, December, January is really starting to wear off, and we're starting to get now into the blah zone. In fact, if you look at these candlesticks here, I got the 1 day up right now up on the screen. The last time we had like really juicy price action for XRP was all the way in March. That's 3 months ago, everyone. I mean, yeah, we had some $2.52, $2.65 time in May, but since then we've pulled back down, and honestly, March was the last time it was really juicy, and we haven't heard shit about a strategic reserve from Trump. Crypto regs have really stalled quite heavily. We've heard about banks buying, but that hasn't done shit with the price. It's just been a lot of overpromising, underdeliver. And I think something that all of us are going to have to recognize is that stables really took a big bunch of energy out of this market and transferred it over into their market. And that's something I've been preaching very heavy for the last several months, is that stables, they're just less volatile. Stables are about trust in a company. And we saw that directly when Circle launched their IPO. They initially said, we're going to price it at $24 to $26. And then it was like, well, we're going to go $27 to $28. And then all of a sudden it was $31. And then all of a sudden we jump up to $100 and $110 and then so forth. You see what I'm saying? A lot of players are getting into stablecoins. A lot of banks are getting into stablecoins for cross-border payments. And the market is just juicy on it. Now, the market's going to get even juicier onto stablecoins once that stablecoin bill passes. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that the rest of the crypto market isn't juicy, but look, what do we need? We need regs for that. And the problem we got is we're having some support issues in the House right now with that. Yeah. Now, the debate for that is going to be happening next week. We might cover the debate on the channel. The problem is it gets really boring, and it's going to be a big, long day of that shit. So I don't know if we're going to cover it because it does get a little dry. Volume on the weekend kind of sucks. Gotta be honest with you. It seems like a lot of the hype, the hysteria, this is awesome is starting to wear away. I mean, the juicy price action times of December, January, and March, it's just fading right now. And a lot of players are getting tired of it. And I totally understand. Trust me. I mean, what did we get tweet-wise from the president? XRP, Sol, ADA, strategic reserve. What have we gotten since? We haven't gotten shit. I mean, I remember those press conferences in the beginning once, they were elected. They had all these things. The first 30 days we get this. The first 90 days we get this. And here we are. We're sitting here and we're like, we haven't gotten any of those. So overpromise and underdeliver. And I think a lot of people in the crypto world are like, you talked a big game, but now what? And then you have the feud between Musk and Trump. And you're like, and then the prices just start beating us up again. So people get beat up with this stuff, and I understand. But remember, my job is bringing the news, good, bad, happy, or sad, and right now the big focus is on stables. As you've seen with Circle, that's where the money is. I do want to beat Pop-Tarts in terms of subs, so if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out, because as soon as we pass Pop-Tarts, we are going to do a destruction compilation video where I come up with a bunch of very crafty ways to just destroy some Pop-Tarts. I might eat a couple of them. It's chemical paste anyways, but yeah, we're going to do that, share it with you. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo biz nachos.